of what?
Good morning. Good morning. Just to let anyone know in here, this is not a Big Brother post today. Just to let you know. If anyone knows who Ayanna is, I'm trying to do something a little different today, which is show you guys a YouTube interview that I have done with Ayanna from MTV Challenge. So I'm gonna wait a little bit and see who's interested in seeing that. I'm gonna play it even if two people come in here, three people come in here, but that's the goal of today's quick live that I'm gonna be doing. I might play through the whole thing, we'll see. I was thinking because it's my footage, it's not something that anybody is going to be able to take down because the footage is mine. Let me know if you're in here. If at least, I would say if at least 20 people come up in here, I'll start playing the interview and then we can talk about it. We can dissect it. You guys can let me know, give me feedback. This is not the first interview I ever did, but I've done interviews with family and friends before. This was the first one I did with somebody that I didn't know. To give you guys a little background information, if you are not a challenge fan and you don't know challenge history, Ayanna has been around for a very long time. She did Road Rules, Semester at Sea, classic season. Classic season. She did Battle of the Sexes 1, Battle of the Sexes 2. I have all of this in my video. I'm just kind of giving a little bit of background information. So, the reason how I even came across to ending up interacting with her and reaching out to her is due to the fact that she came back for Challenge All Stars. Mark Long put together a project called Challenge All Stars. And Challenge All Stars basically brought back a lot of challengers that had been around and been good at the game for a number of years back when we started watching the show. And then they came back and some of them were like late 30s, some of them were in their 40s, and he was like, hey, we can still do this now. It's not something that we have to give up doing the challenge forever. It's something that we can come back, it's something that we can compete and just show the world that the world doesn't have to end at a certain age. And actually, the Challenge All Stars is something that inspired me. I'm not Mark Long's age. I met Mark Long. I'm not his age, but even where I'm at in my mid 30s, I thought that there's nowhere to go but down when it comes to my fitness. And I've learned that, everybody has an athletic peak, but you can still take yourself to new levels that you have not been to before at any age. So I felt like now is a prime time for me to lock in and just do my best, eat my best, and just see where that takes me. Good morning, by the way. If you're in here, I would love and appreciate for you to drop a like in the chat. Hit the subscription bell, hit the subscription, and hit the notification bell. There we go. I'm new to this. Still no comments, still no comments. I'm still going to be on here and I'm still going to play this video regardless. If this topic doesn't interest people, it is what it is, but I'm going to play it because the reason I'm trying to play this is because I want you guys to see some of the work that I have put in on this page before I started with Big Brother. Okay, so I think that I am just going to get this started. We'll see who comes in. I'll pause at certain moments. Hi, Amy K. Are you a challenge fan? Do you like challenge? And thanks for being the first comment. Sometimes it takes one person to make the comment first before other people start making comments. There are ghost viewers that view things and don't say anything. Y'all caught me kind of mid-breakfast and coffee. If you've been here, you know I haven't really been sleeping in the last few days. And don't worry, I will get back to my Big Brother posts because there's still more things to talk about. It's just that I'm diversifying. I'm posting about as many different things as I can. Because I don't just want no, you're welcome, just Big Brother. Okay, that's okay. That's fair. If you want to check out this interview that I'm about to play, you can. And if you don't want to check out the interview, you are not obligated. But I'm glad that you popped in anyways. It's up to you. Okay, so this looks like where we're at right now. So without further ado, oh, the lighting looks kind of crazy. Hold on. LOL, Arch. What is Arch? What do you mean by Arch? So this is kind of a watch party. You'll watch. Oh, you'll watch. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your support. I honestly, I really appreciate that. All right, let's go. Hi, everybody. Good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're viewing this. Welcome to Champion Within Conversations. For those who have watched my show before, it's a show where I interview champions from all different walks of life to find out about their trials, about their triumphs, about the things that make them tick. And sound okay? I reach out to people who have before I start. Sound okay, Amy? Does the sound is the sound coming in good and clear? Because I'm just gonna be playing it and then I'm gonna be pausing at various moments to give you guys some insight. Sound is good. Thank you, Amy. Inspired me in some kind of way. And today I'm very excited to have somebody that I've been watching on TV for a number of years. She needs no introduction, but I'm going to give her one anyways. We first saw her on Road Rules, Semester at Sea. After that, she was on Challenge Extreme. She was on Battle of the Sexes 1, Battle of the Sexes 2, and then there was a big hiatus in between there, and then she made a welcome, hit the like button
on drop the a Challenge All-Stars 2, which is now.
If you just popped in, hit the like button and drop a comment. I just started the interview
on Paramount Plus. So I'm so excited to have Ayanna on here today. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
To say first, I know that many years ago you talked about your LL Cool J moment. How excited you were when you saw LL Cool J on the Challenge Extreme when you were doing the whole rollerball challenge.
And all of his name is not Chris Kattan, but it's the guy's name is Chris, the other actor that was in that movie.
Yeah.
We were on the set for Rollerball, which was at that time a really fun but an action flick that was being filmed in, I believe, where were we? I think we were in someplace in North America, maybe. I mean, someplace in like near the Maine, Vermont area, or we were in Canada. One of those two places. But But yeah,
close enough.
That was, you talk about a moment I will never forget. Ultimate fangirling moment. Like to me, LL Cool J. That was it.
Well, I wanted to tell you this is my LL Cool J moment, meeting you, because trust me, watching this as a teenager all that time ago, I would never think that I'd be sitting there on Zoom years later having a direct conversation with Ayanna.
Oh my goodness. Well, look, this world is smaller than we think, and we all put our pants legs on one at a time. Unless you're my 2-year-old, then it's kind of weird. Maybe it's 2 legs in one hole, and but even then, one of the things that I appreciate about your podcast is that you talk about the challenge within, and you talk about, overcoming obstacles. So, I'm looking forward to just, really doing a deep dive in, as 2 human beings trying to make our best way on this planet.
Thank you for saying that. And I wanted to get into how and why I ended up reaching out to you in the first place. I know you've talked about this plenty of times, but back in the day, we didn't have direct access to you guys. We just watched you on TV and then waited until the next season. Whoever comes on, comes on. If you're on there, you're on. If you're not, you're not. But you're not really talking to challengers directly. So I would just watch my show, and I had my 1 or 2 friends in school that watched it, and we'd catch up in school or we'd talk on the phone. But there wasn't a challenge community for me. So recently, within the last few years, I started joining some Facebook groups and everything. And somebody had made a post in one of those Facebook groups saying, challengers who respond when you DM them on Instagram. So there was a list of about 10 people that they were listing out. And I picked like 3 or 4 of them that were my personal favorites. And I DM'd all of them, you being one, and there was another few. I got 1 response, and the response was from you. And what I appreciated was it wasn't just like a, hey, thanks for being a fan type of response. It was an actual detailed response where you answered all my questions, and we've been talking back and forth. You answer my story sometimes when I have personal things going on. You've given me words of encouragement, voice notes. So that's why I said at the beginning, I consider you to be an authentic person.
Well, look, the timing of everything, and not to necessarily speak for the challengers that maybe didn't respond, but especially for, folks who were on the first iterations, the pre-TJ challenges, the ones with, Johnny Mosley and, other people, Dave Mira, who, passed away. You have a little bit of a experience gap with social media as it pertains to our time on the shows, because as you said, it didn't exist in this way. So our experiences are tied in many respects to, that time that was pre-major internet, pre-massive social media, pre this access and engagement in this way. And so for some of us, I think.
What's up to those who just joined? What's up?
Others that I've talked to in the course of the last 4 or 5 months of this.
What's up to everyone who's just joining?
We literally are just starting in social media, period. Like,
Yeah.
We may have had a Facebook where we were connected to actual people that were in our, personal lives. But outside of that, a lot of folks don't have TikToks, don't have Instagram, or if they do have an Instagram, it's very small. They're still working out how they engage with it. So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like, he had this massive weight loss, and he did this Spartan race, and I've always been interested in that race. So I feel like it was very organic the way you and I connected. And, truly it's like when I connected with a few other people really early on,
Yeah.
I was literally also exploring the platform of Instagram. Exploring just how to do a reel and what's the difference between a reel and a story.
Yes, Andrew.
I've seen things on your Instagram that I didn't.
Good to see you, Andrew. Yes, this is my interview with Ayanna. I'm playing part 1, which is about a little less than an hour. I just started 7 minutes ago about. I'm going to play it through. If you want to listen to some or all of it, you're welcome to. I see that there's a lot more Big Brother fans than Challenge fans on my page, or I put this on pretty randomly, so maybe some of them are not up yet because I know I saw several people say they were Challenge fans. But yes, that's what I'm doing right now.
Existed.
Yeah, man,
These reaction videos that you do.
yeah, I've been using it as an opportunity to just really learn. You know, I'm a mom of four. Just to kind of give a little detail to my circumstances right now. You know, three of my four children are in school full time during the day, and then I'm at home most of the time with one. It's very, very expensive in DC to do full time daycare. So I have a part time sitter, but you know, most of the times I'm engaging with my little one, just me and her during the day.
As you can see, outside of her challenge environment, Ayanna is a lot more low key than you might think. And I was so surprised by that.
So what I've challenged myself to do as I, you know, rebuild my resume and rebuild my skills to re-enter the full-time workforce, I use those times to, you know, say, okay, today I'm going to learn a little bit more about QuickBooks, which is in my industry. I'm going to learn a little bit more about the opportunities in education that are out here. And I'm also going to learn a little bit more about Instagram. And so Instagram recently, with a app called ManyChat, hosted a huge summit where, you know, it was free to attend. You could, you know, sign up and you could listen to different influencers, different business owners, different individuals, and just really hear from multiple like angles, you know, how they use social media and why. And so as being a fly on the wall of that conversation, you know, we talk about overcoming obstacles, overcoming challenges. A big challenge for me has been exposure and, you know, feeling kind of apprehensive to being too exposed. However, putting a intentional task on my list during the day to say, all right, I'm going to learn a little bit more about these platforms. For me, it helps open my anxiety up a little bit around it.
Yeah.
It also helps me reaffirm my personal mission. Many times you'll go on someone's Instagram and immediately you're going to be hit with the, you know, this is what I'm selling, buy my stuff, or follow. Like, this is like their whole thing. I don't knock that because that's something they found their passion in. For me, I found that my Instagram, right, like finding ways to inspire when I can, but for the most part, being silly and fun. That just gives me a little bit of, I would say, free time during the day. You know, for me, Instagram is like that glass of red wine that you have.
Yeah, that's your me time. I got it.
You know, without having the glass of red wine, because, you know, it's very difficult when you're trying, as you know.
You're on your fitness mission.
Yeah, when you're on your fitness mission, it's very difficult to like infuse certain things that you know are going to be like, ooh, these are gateways to.
Anyone who's on here, what do you think so far? Just pausing this to interact a little bit. Yes, if you hear me, I am eating as well. What do you think so far?
Me snacking or gateways to me do other things. So Instagram has been, I think, a somewhat healthy outlet. I tend to, you know, block and delete whenever it's negative. Like, you know,
I do that all the time.
Yeah, I just block and delete whenever it's negative. Or if I'm finding that I went into a rabbit hole of Instagram, like this was trending. Click, freeze dog, click, freeze dog. And I was really into it for about 5 minutes. I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. And how do you do that? But then it was over and I didn't want to deal with it anymore. But in my feed now, all these dogs are coming up. Freeze dog, the freeze dogs. I'm like, oh. So what I learned in the summit and a couple of other platforms is, all right, just go back and then start reliking the things that you want to see more of in your feed. And so, you know, it is funny, even though your name is Mark, I call you Renaissance Maestro.
I know.
I'm like, well, let me go to the Renaissance Maestro's page so that I can, you know, like some more of his fitness videos and whatever he's doing. And then I'll start getting more in my feed. And it works all the time. So between you, fitness, there's another person that I like to cook. Well, I can't say that one because it's a little nasty. And I don't want to, oh, she's nasty, but I click on that one too. And then I'll see more.
Thanks for stopping in, Amy. Appreciate it. Appreciate you watching, even though you don't know who she is.
Like, it might be.
I got you that it affects the algorithms.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
And, also, the challenge currently is All Stars 2 is airing in Brazil.
Wow.
And I love Brazil. Where my oldest daughter was conceived. And I've always felt like there's two places in the world that I've been where I felt like I was leaving home when it was time to go from those spaces. And one of those places is Brazil. So when I heard the challenge was airing in Brazil, I had a chance to meet the person that did my voice for the challenge.
Oh, wow.
Which was cool. Like her voice was so
awesome.
cool. So it's so wild watching me in Portuguese like still salad. So that whole
we're gonna get into that too.
Yeah, so all that being said, Mark, I'm really super humbled by this chance and this opportunity. You can let me know when you're ready to talk about it. But where I was right before I got asked to come on the challenge, wasn't it that for me? It was not like the ideal space to be in to be asked to go on an international television show, right? It's not like I live in Los Angeles and have access to all these, things that would aesthetically make you look like somebody that would be on something like that. Again, I just had a baby. I was a little over, I think I was maybe just shy of a year postpartum when I got called. So, I'm really in this space.
Good morning to those who just jumped on here.
I asked back, and it was like either winning a lottery ticket or.
Good morning. Good morning to anyone who just jumped on here. As you can see, this is just a little bit of a different thing from what I usually post. I'm still going to be on here probably during or after Sunday's episode to chop things up a little bit. But this was just, I wanted to show you guys a little video of what I did with Ayanna from the challenge and just see what you guys think. So here we are. Thank you to those few who are here.
Getting asked to go on Wheel of Fortune, or you got called on down on The Price is Right. Like, it was game show time for me. I was like, this is woo! Like, I literally, for me, inside, I made the final when I got off the plane before we got on the yacht to go to the island place that we went to. Like, I won. Like, the moment I got on.
Good morning, Vivian Sanchez. Just to recap what I said to the people who were here when I started, I'm not done with my Big Brother posts, the live feeds, the commentary and all that. But this was just a little change of pace, which was to show you guys something I've had on my page for a little while. It looks like, I think I said last year, but it looks like I actually posted this April 27, 22. And it was an interview that I did with Ayanna from MTV's challenge. And I'm just showing you guys most of part one, if not all of part one of the interview, just to see what y'all think and get your feedback. Feel free to just drop things in the comments as you feel compelled. Hit the like button. And if you want to check it out on your own time, you can actually just go back through my page. Go on the playlist that says Champion Within Conversations, and it's on there if you don't want to watch it now. And if you're not interested in it, that's okay. Different strokes for different folks.
On the plane, all my kids were settled, with their grandparents and where they needed to be. I had already won, and I knew from the day that I walked into that house that I wasn't leaving anything on the table. I wasn't leaving any regrets. I was gonna have a good time. I was gonna have fun. I was gonna let nobody get me down. And
now,
I saw that.
If you don't mind, I wanna circle back to well before that point. I wanna go back to 21-year-old Ayanna. Were you in Were you were in school at that time, right? You were in Howard U.
Yes, I was at Howard. I was 20. All right, so let's go back in time.
Yes.
Right?
So I just wanted to know what were you doing in school at that time, and what attracted you to trying to be cast for Road Rules?
So my casting story, I've told it a lot of times. So I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, like trying to rehash it. But my casting story cannot be separated from my experience going to Howard. I started at Howard on a academic scholarship and track scholarship. I was there full tuition, and room and board were on track. And then, with the academic part being the tuition part. And I was a hungry person most days. Because of NCAA rules, you really couldn't work with the exception of certain circumstances. At the time, this is the late '90s, so we didn't have digital cameras and the tools in the media to capture what you look like in real time without it being a little bit of a production. You had to go to a drugstore to get film developed, or you had to send your film off and cross your fingers in a sense to hope that you got an image back. Um, so I found there was an opportunity with Murray Productions coming to our campus that I could literally buy a bunch of Polaroid film and sell people pictures of themselves back to themselves so that I could make some money. Because I knew that 1,000, 2,000 people show up for an audition. They're not going to show up with headshots. Not when you're looking for regular, real people. I mean, who got it?
What's up to everyone who just joined? Just another recap of what I'm showing right now. It's a little change of pace from Big Brother, but I wanted to show you guys my first interview that I really did with anyone from one of the TV shows, my first and only. I always tell you guys I'm hoping to get Taylor, I'm hoping to get like Monty, Joseph, Kyle even. I might not do a live interview with Kyle because you guys would kill him to where he wouldn't even want to come on my channel. But I would get like a Zoom interview like what I did with Ayanna here. So I just wanted to show you guys something a little different. The first interview that I ever did, the first and only, with somebody from one of the TV shows that I love, which is The Challenge. And yeah, I will be back to talking about Big Brother tonight, maybe after the episode, but this is what I'm playing for right now.
Headshots back then. The word selfie did not exist in the late '90s. So that being said, I was there with my
good morning, Chocolate.
Already, selling pictures of people.
And good morning, Vivian and Rich, if I haven't said so already.
Kind of jumped in the chase. One of the production people with the company were like, "You can't do that." I think his name is Mikey, I believe. I might be wrong about that, but I think it was Mikey. He was like, "You can't do this. This is against the rules, yada yada." And I was like, "Bump your rules. I don't care. This is Howard. I go here. I'll get my lawyer." I didn't have a lawyer, but all of that loud self-righteousness, I think it just kind of came out in that moment. And I truly did not think that I would be cast. Like, I was, I didn't even fill out an application at that time that I was on the pictures. Like, I was like, I'm just gonna make some money off these folks. They're trying to be on the show. This is great. Let's go, right?
So you weren't trying to be on the show?
Not at first, no.
Oh, wow.
Because I wasn't sitting in line. I was going up and down the line taking pictures.
You know what? Since there's not really any comments to read, I'm actually going to flip this camera. So how about that? If I see start to come in while I have it at this view, I might change it back. I'm going to give you guys a horizontal view. Wait, if I can. Whoa, what happened here? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys a horizontal view unless anyone else comes in that I have to read.
Just people telling to each other. So, I wasn't in line to get auditioned. And so they pulled me aside and they were like, write your information on this page because we have to see if it was, if it was authorized for you to take a picture. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, I'll give you all my information, but you ain't getting my little money. And I had made a little piece of money, some of those pictures, me and a friend of mine that day. So all that being said, like that then springboarded into me actually filling out an application, them calling me back to do a little video, more intense interview. And they asked me some questions about myself. And I think because I truly didn't think I would get chosen, I just gave everything. I was like, whatever, this is going to be in some cutting room floor somewhere. They're not going to pick somebody like me. So I don't have anything to lose. I don't have to put on a mask, a face. I don't have to code switch. I'm just let it all out, for better or for worse. I did, and I got chosen. And I remember when I got the phone call. I was in my dorm room, and they asked me if I wanted to be on Road Rules or Real World. And I was like, all right, what does Real World do? They're like, well, they go to Hawaii. I'm like, woo, Hawaii. And then they work a job. And I'm like,
you're like, oh.
a job in Hawaii? And what are you on Road Rules? Oh, you're going to go around the world on a ship. And you get to stay in college, and you get to go to college and get credits and go to 8 countries and go to Africa.
That is
Africa? I get to go to Africa?
That is the perfect segue into what I wanted to ask you next. I thought Semester at Sea, in addition to being, to me, the most classic season of Road Rules, I'm like, what a cool concept that you actually get to travel and get college credits, go on these missions, go to all these different countries, and you're kind of competing for money. Is that correct? That there was some kind of a prize?
Well, okay. So that season was very different, and there hasn't been a season like it since. When there wasn't a season like it before, versus us competing for necessarily prizes. Like in some ways there were prizes, but it wasn't to the extent like, oh, you've won this new Instapot, or you've won this new bike or whatever. It wasn't necessarily like that. It was more so, this is what you came to do, and this is what you're supposed to do.
I got you.
I think we all got computers at the end. I remember I got an iMac, and then my iMac didn't work when I got back, and then I gave it to I had either a friend or a cousin, I can't remember now, but I do remember that the person that I gave it to got it after I got back.
Wow, look at that.
Let me tell you, so Semester at Sea, I definitely didn't realize it at the time because I was going through a lot. Like when I got back from Semester at Sea, my mom died 9 months.
Yeah.
So it's that whole time was kind of a blur for me in terms of really processing how intense that trip was for me.
So I want to break down that part for y'all who are watching this feed. Ayanna was on Semester at Sea, which was a unique season of road rules, where they were actually in college at the time. They were in their 20s, and they were doing like a study abroad program where they would study and then they would also do different missions. And while she was on Semester at Sea, her mother was sick with cancer. So I believe that her mom passed shortly after the season ended. I think her mom passed shortly after the season ended, but she was very, and she was going through a range of emotions with her mother being sick while she was out there on this show.
In my life, and also taking advantage of the network and the community that Semester at Sea is. When my mom passed, I kind of associated everything and anything that had to do with her last couple of years here on Earth. I kind of associated all that in one lump, and I tried to just be away from all of that as much. It's painful. It was painful. But here we are now, almost 20 years later, and time and distance do help with that kind of trauma. I don't want to necessarily say it doesn't it never stops hurting, but it does, the pain of it, you can begin to balance what that melody looks like in your life. So,
I like that.
So
I like the way you phrase that.
Yeah, so in recent years, the melody of that song, I've been able to hear the bass line a little more versus hearing just I like to call pain many times the soprano, or either like when they say, I can't remember what the term is for the guys that can sing really, really high octave. It's left me right now. But falsetto.
Falsetto, yeah.
So the pain is like falsetto.
Yeah.
Those high notes can be hit, but it hurts. You know what I mean? You try.
Thank you to everyone who's been on here so far.
It hurts, But many times that bass line, which is so important to keep rhythm and tempo of the song, we don't always listen to it. We don't always like get into it. And I feel like as an adult, I've been able to hear the bass line of Semester at Sea and seeing how its rhythms have just really played out, and how I raised my kids. All four of my kids have attended the language immersion schools. My two older speak two languages in addition to English. So, I don't discount what Semester at Sea has done for me in my life. And at this point, I'm now in a position where I can get back and just really begin to vocalize how much that experience really touched my worldview, my mindset. And now I'm in more of a space and a position to really be active as an alum, ensuring that people know about the program in terms of underrepresented populations, and then give back financially to the program that really gave me so much.
Awesome.
So this right here is for you. I'm gonna put this in the mail so you can have a little.
Are you serious? Oh my goodness. Thank you. There's some questions that I want to ask you about Semester at Sea, because so much happened in there.
Yeah.
So many different things happened in there. One thing I wanted to say was, I noticed, despite all the different things you were going through, you, out of all your cast members, actually seemed to be the one that was the most focused on the school and the actual things that you were doing in those countries, because it seemed like a lot of the other cast was kind of into the partying. And I'm like,
we can't, I think unfortunately, we used to joke that Sean becomes the Eddie Winslow of our show. Because many times, because he has a clean cut image, he had on the plaid, the button all the way to the top. He was that clean cut guy on the show. And for that show to be so new and different, a lot of times people focus, of course, on the drama, or they focus on whatever's happening in people's love lives. So you don't really get a chance to see a lot of him throughout the show resonating, because he kind of, falls under the radar. But I think Sean's GPA was higher than mine. Like, in class too.
Yeah.
Because, at the time he was at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and they don't accept any slow slugs in terms of the intellectuals and whatnot. So.
Well, I feel like every show that you have been on has turned into the Ayanna show. I'm going to be honest. Any one of those shows, even if you were in there for 3 episodes, 5 episodes, it doesn't matter. They always did these like arcs that were all around you. So I can see what you're saying. They showed more of you. Some of the cast members, I kind of didn't even realize they were there because of how little, airtime. You had so many different moments. So I can see what you're saying.
I just really feel like, for the most part, I definitely went into each one of those seasons from a different space. But the one thing that was always the same, and even up to All Stars, was being vulnerable. Like, I did find that I really didn't want to go home with this angry.
I know there's only a few of y'all in here, but I would love for those of you who are in here to drop me some feedback in the comments. Like it, don't like it, anything in between. Comments on the subject matter. You guys know I'm here for any kind of commentary, good, bad, indifferent, or otherwise.
Person, thing. And I've had to be very real and honest that being angry is a part of who I am. It's a part of who every person it's healthy or unhealthy. However, for people that really know me, like intimately know me, they know that I'm just not about that like drama. Like I'm not about that at all. Like I'm all about, going and, having a grill out on the water, or, hot like dancing at the go-go, or, just having these moments of joy. So, but I'm also competitive. So many times I've struggled in my life with finding joy in the competitive state.
Oh, yeah.
Making the competition a funny thing, and having all of my personality come out in those moments, because I'll like zone in on the I gotta win type thing.
Yeah.
So like I said, I think my vulnerability is the one thing that hasn't changed. I will be vulnerable if I'm feeling like if I'm feeling safe enough to do it. At the same time, I don't think I care as much as I used to about what other people think about me.
Yeah.
So,
I left early. How long did you stay up for? I stayed up until I could tell you the exact time later, but I believe I went to bed about 2 o'clock because 2 o'clock is when I hit 200 likes. I was campaigning to get 200 likes. And so far, yesterday's live at the last time that I checked is my highest viewed and liked video. It has 2,800 views and 200 likes. So thank you, because every day that I get on here, with the exception of now, because apparently people don't like the challenge that much, the numbers go up. The numbers go up every day. I'm sure that when I start posting my recap for tonight's episode on Sunday, there's gonna be more views than there is now, but it is what it is. I just wanted to give you guys something different and show you guys something that I've done on my page, because Big Brother is done in 7 days at this stage. So I want to see what other things people like. The challenge doesn't seem to be too big of one at this moment, but we'll see. I left when you were at around 111:30ish, and I really thought I was gonna leave not too long after that, but it became a mission for me, and I'm the type of person who can't leave until the mission is complete. Like if I was sitting here 110, 115 type of thing, and the numbers weren't moving too much, then I would have left. But once it started to go 130, 140, 150, I was like, how upset would I feel with myself if I started with this mission to get to 200 and I started to get that close and left. I even stayed on for an extra maybe 20 minutes when it was at 199. Nobody wanted to hit the like button. Have you ever ranked the beats? I've only seen maybe 6 or 7 of them. I haven't necessarily ranked those though. I just know which one I consider number one. As an overall season, I consider 16 number one. As an overall player, I can't put anyone above Dan Giesling.
I feel like for people who read between the lines, that's evident. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if I compare the Challenge All-Stars 2 versus all the other seasons, really, the salad moment that everybody talks about, right? So for me, it was just funny. I sent you a message right after that. Like, this thing was hilarious. Thank you for giving me something to laugh at, because there's so many things going on in the world right now. This was so funny. I want to just go into that moment where it started off in your deliberation ceremony, and Melinda just jumped off throwing shots at you. She was like, I didn't.
She didn't want to go home. Listen, don't be too hard on Melinda. Don't be too hard on Mel. Looking back on it, mind you, in the moment, yes, I did feel like she was throwing shade. I'm like, okay,
well,
like you can state your case without like trying to throw darts at the sister. At the same time, now that's how I felt in the moment. How I feel now that I've been home, I can go home. Like,
right.
we'll go to the elimination.
Right. she did what she had to do for the game.
Yeah,
So
she had to do what she needed to do for the game, you know. So, you know, I don't hold that against her. And I've had a few chances to speak to her outside of, you know, the challenge. And I think like be at home and you get a chance to see like what people are going through, that you're a part of. Like, you know, I wasn't a part of her whole conversation about, losing our chip, losing our child. So, there was no reason why she.
I personally stopped watching season 21 because of jackass behavior. I committed to the end of the season and gave it a rest for a few seasons until now. Good job getting the interview. You're talking about season 21 of The Challenge or Big Brother?
Could have been a part of that conversation because I didn't have a relationship that she had with the people that she shared that with. So, you know, kind of putting in context the why behind people, what they do. I think many times the challenge family in the community, there are folks who really reach to get to the backstory and then they apply that backstory and it makes a lot of sense. And then there's others that are just really like not gonna go that deep. They're like, we either love you or we hate you. You are either Linda the Good Witch or we trying to throw water on your ass and melt you. You know, I do think that one of the wonderful aspects of Buell Murray as a production company, you know, is that they're really about
the girl's name was Cammy.
And, you know, whether or not
that
black
story is something that kind of everybody towards her.
They are really storytelling. And so to have this realization that, wow, every single day in our lives we're in these
people don't like the challenge. People don't like the challenge like that, Van Hoop. Unless they're doing other things on Sunday, but I think people don't like the challenge like that. On my page anyways.
Go with our path, kind of, you know, willy-nilly and letting it bounce off the wall. You know, that salad moment just bring full circle. It literally was my attempt to slice.
You didn't miss much. The Challenge USA, but Challenge All Stars. I loved Challenge All Stars.
I'm gonna try to ask about it. I'm gonna be right.
Johnny is gonna be on the newest season of the Challenge, and I think he was about 41 or something like that, or 40 at the time of casting.
And bowl exactly what was on my mind when I ate the salad and see where the chips fall. At the very least of things, I'm gonna get some laughs up here. At the very least of things, at the worst of things, then, you know, hey, maybe somebody that can send me home ain't gonna like me no more. But I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to see myself on television scared. I didn't want to see myself leaving something on the table. You know, when I got home, you know, somebody had asked me, like, you know, that maybe it cost you, that could cost you $500,000. Do you know what that million would have done for you, your family, your kids, you know, the situation?
Only thing I don't like is they kind of have this thing where everyone is not allied.
I did throw it away for a salad.
Is now allied along shorelines.
Like, my physical, you know, capacity as a 1 year postpartum, hadn't been in the gym. Pools just opened up in DC like 2 weeks before we had to go on a plane. Like, I hadn't been in a swimming pool or whatever. My body got to a place where it couldn't go anymore. I ran out of gas. Like, that's just what it is. Like, that's what kept me from that. At the same time, what is for you in this life is for you. Full stop. Was for you. And you know, for.
Oh shoot! What did I just do? Yeah, Van Hoot. I miss when everyone came from the real world, because some people are like, oh yeah, I like all my Survivor, Big Brother, Love Island, and Amazing Race people. But the thing about it for me is that they come on the show, they have previous alliances, and they have previous ways that they're used to playing the game. And for me, it's just like, I liked getting fresh people who didn't know the game. Because it added like a different and, in my opinion, a better dynamic to the game than it is with when people have prior alliances. Yeah, yeah, I feel the exact same way. I feel the exact same way here. I don't know what I did with my video here, but anyways, we didn't have a large group here anyways, so I'm going to sit on here for another 10 minutes or so, and then I will be back tonight for our regular scheduled program. It was just something I wanted to see if there was any interest. Some of them get famous from the real world, yeah. Like Jamie Chung, yeah. I miss those days. I liked when they pulled people from the real world. So for people who didn't get to see this live, I hope that you will actually go back and watch at least some of the interview that I did with Ayanna. And then look for it on my page because it's on there. I have a playlist titled Champion Within Conversations, and it's on there. She was the first interview I got from somebody on one of my shows that I like. So I don't know if it's Sunday morning. Big ups for getting that interview. Yeah, thank you, Van Hoot. And at the time when I asked her for it, I didn't really believe in my ability to get the interview. I'm like, let me just ask her and see what happens. And she said yes right away. And I think at the time when I asked her, I had like 30 to 40 something followers, and I had like maybe a couple thousand views at that time. I would love to get different interviews, Van Hoot. I'm reaching out to people in their inbox. I'm reaching out to business emails and seeing what I can do. Hopefully, I can get some interviews from the Big Brother casts. I have already asked Monty and Taylor. I mean, they're obviously in the house, but I have reached out to their teams to see if it's even a possibility. And I don't even know if they have seen my messages yet, but I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, I put it out there for their team. I was like, I know that they're still in the house, but I would like to interview them for these reasons. And we'll see what happens. I mean, you got to be in it to win it. Thanks, Ben Hoop. You got to be in it to win it. You got to be. I realize that to succeed at these type of things, you got to be persistent, because I look at a lot of other pages that are successfully doing what I've been wanting to do for the last few years, and I don't think that the separation is because their content is so much better than mine. And it's not to disrespect their content. A lot of them have good content. I think I have good content too. Thanks, Vivian. I think that in my case, I just wasn't persistent enough and probably didn't necessarily believe in myself enough, because even when it's a grind, it's consistency. Then I'll tell you the ultimate proof of grind and consistency. I've said this in plenty of lives. I hopped on here Monday randomly. Let's see what happens. I had 20 views. Excuse me. I hopped on here on Monday. I had like maybe 20 viewers or something like that. And I could have looked at that and said, 20 viewers, it's decent, but it's nothing much. And then people were like, you should do this tomorrow. Next day, 30, 40, something like that. I still wasn't really that impressed by that number. But people said, you should come back tomorrow. Yesterday and the day before, yesterday I had like a 124 or something like that at peak. And the day before I had like 117. So consistently having 100 plus when I'm doing my feeds is a huge difference from 20. The OG family. When you hit 50K. That's a ways from now, Van Hoot, but I definitely won't forget about y'all that were here when I started. That's a ways from now. I'm at like 1.5K, but I don't consider 50K out of the realm of possibility. They are in interviews from things that have already happened. Because I only got a handful of people to check out my Ayanna interview, but also maybe in the post view, people are gonna look at it and take a look, and then me check it on the channel. We'll see. We shall see. I have a story about the grind. I'd love to hear it. I had a good job on my way up. Decided no, I wanted to do something I was passionate about. I love to hear that. I went back and got a second bachelor's degree to get there. I'm gearing up to apply to that dream job now. Point is, don't stop that grind, brother. Thank you, because I'm doing passionless work right now. So when I sit on here and I'm on here 2, 3, 4 hours and I'm tired, I'm losing sleep. Even though I'm tired, I'm not drained. If I'm sure that because you're saying you're pursuing your passions, you know exactly what I mean. There's a big difference between feeling tired and drained. This does not drain me. It makes me physically tired sometimes because I'm human and I require a certain amount of sleep. But while I'm on here, I'm having fun, I'm laughing with y'all. It's not something that mentally drains me in any capacity. And only so few people understand that concept. That's my feeling. The only thing that has, the GTA, I know the GTA traffic. I understand that completely. 2 hours one way to get, I understand that completely. I'm going to be on here a few more minutes, but it has been great speaking to you, Van Hoot. You've given me a lot of great ideas, to be honest with you. I'm actually thinking, because I don't know if it was you or somebody else, or you might have been one of multiple people who said that when you go on Discord, you can view the whole episode. One of these days, I'll stop getting lazy and add you on Insta. Definitely, man. My Insta is open. I'm open to all these discussions. There's great people that I've met on here over the last week that I want to be in contact with. Maybe it was Hermdog. Yeah, maybe it was Hermdog. Talking to me about Discord and is like, you can put the whole episode on Discord. Yeah, music and mental health. All one word. I think he was talking about Discord and he said it takes a lot less to get monetized on Discord than it does on Instagram. Done. Thank you, sir. As soon as I hop off here, I'll shoot you a DM. Which will be soon because we only have 3 people on here. Unless it's one of those random days where I'm about to go and a bunch of people just jump on. But I think my title, people saw that it was not Big Brother. What are you, okay. You don't have to tell me what you are on there. I'll just give it a look. If you don't want to post that on here, I'll just give it a look. Nizzle, okay. That's the hint. Okay. As soon as I get off here, I got another 5 minutes to be on here, and then I'm gonna hop off, barring more people jumping on. But I'm sure that they didn't jump on because of the topic. Yeah, because I didn't. I've done so much in 5 days, 6 days, 5-6 days. People consider me now as having a community, and I had nothing when I started. I didn't know anybody. These are not my friends and family jumping on. I had one friend jump on here once or twice just to show me some support. But aside from that, all these main people that have been interacting with me, I just met them when I started doing this at the beginning of this week, and now they're dedicated followers that I appreciate. I've always said to myself, I used to feel like I haven't succeeded at too many things. Then I said to myself, the amount of grind that I put into a regular 9 to 5, I've never put the same amount of time into my personal endeavors. So I'm going to start putting in that type of grind. That's why you see me on here so often. This is fun and it's a grind. I'm going to put in that grind until I get to where I need to go. And I can envision, because I believe in visualizing, I can envision a life where I'm preparing things for this, and I can use my creativity, I can use my voice, and I can create things that all of you are going to enjoy, and things that I enjoy that don't drain my spirit, things that I'm in complete control of. For me, I saw people at work who were just waiting for their pension to come. Man, they were existing. Both of my parents, I guess you could call them blue collar, hard workers. They had good jobs. My mom is recently retired. She was a nurse. My dad retired a few years ago. He was an accountant. They both told me they never loved their jobs, but they worked at their jobs for 40 plus. They retired. Now my dad's late 60s. My dad is early 70s. My mom is late 60s. They told me they never really loved what they did, and they just did it to support myself and my sister, support the house, pay the bills. So I can't imagine dedicating 40 years of my life to things that I just hate, and then just retiring and just getting my little pension, which is like 50-60% of my work salary, and living my life on a budget from there. That's not the life for me. Never had, never has been, never will. I don't want to live to exist either. I'm wanting to go down the physician route. What I think is money will come in most situations. That's the thing. I don't hate on people. Passion will change a lot. I actually don't. I know people who are actually within the regular 9 to 5 realm, but are doing things that they actually love. And I'm not mad at that. I'm just not built like that. People are passionate about different things. Sometimes you can find enough of your passion within the regular structure to be able to do that for your life and still be happy. Sometimes the structure is something that doesn't allow you to be happy because you're never going to find that exact combination of things. Just like how you guys see me post about, I love music, I love fitness events, I love doing stuff like this, I love public speaking. There's no regular job. I love videography and photography. There's no regular job that encompasses each and every one of those things. So the fulfillment aspect for me is lacking. I like some parts of what I do at work, but not enough that I could see myself sitting in there for 40 years. Okay, we were talking about this discussion yesterday and hinting at it with a discussion of, see, that's what I'm saying. The things that I see Swaggy say and post to me do not necessarily indicate this man's level of happiness. Even if he does have all those millions and mansion and all that, it's not necessarily an indication of happiness. It is, because it shows the different values that everyone has. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily right or wrong, but let's say, how about this? I get more out of a 50 Cent interview than I do about a Floyd Mayweather interview. Because Floyd Mayweather, He'll post about the money he spends in the strip club. He'll post about how he sleeps with I don't know. I think it was like 40, 50,000, 50K in cash that he'll take to the hotel. He'll sleep with that in bed. You listen to a 50 interview, he's not necessarily talking about how much money that he has. Sometimes he does that. Yo, I got money, whatever. But if you really listen to a lot of his interviews like I do, he's often talking about hustling and what it took to get the money, and there's tools that you can use and apply to your own life of how you can get that money. Or not necessarily get his money, but money within your realm. I actually bought his book a few years ago. I forgot. I think it was called 50 Laws of Power or something like that. I can't remember. Man was planning that his whole life with his dad. I just got up and saw your honor. No, Norma. I actually started this chat by posting. I was playing an interview that I did of Ayanna from the challenge, and I've had less than 5 people on here for almost the whole time. So I just turned the interview off because I realized I don't know if it's the time that I'm on or just the topic. People might not be interested in Ayanna. People might not be interested in the challenge because I primarily have been posting Big Brother posts, but we live and adjust. But the reason I'm doing that is mainly because the Big Brother season is over next week. So I'm just trying to see what kind of things you guys like. This one might not have been it. Time will kind of tell because some people might check this out later. But as of right now, not too many people hopped on. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But one point was that I mentioned that I want to get an interview with Taylor and an interview with Monty. And I never thought I could get an interview with any of these people, being that I'm not a known figure. But I learned it's just a matter of reaching out to them in their DM or reaching out to their team if that's what's available. And you never know. Sometimes they might just check out your videos like, hey, this guy is somebody that I think that is a good person, and I'd be willing to just throw him a bone. And next thing you know, you get that one interview. Yeah, and Ayanna actually told me at the time, thank you. Ayanna actually told me thank you, Van Hoot. Ayanna actually told me at the time that she could connect me with like Nehemiah, I think Cyrus. She connected me with John Brennan, if you guys know who John Brennan is. He was on The Real World. Was it New York? I think it was New York. Or California. California, one of them. Anyways, I watched him on that season and I watched him on Homecoming. And he actually responded to me and said that he would do an interview with me. Matter of fact, I think I should reach back out to the man and see what's what with him, because it's hard to lock down these interviews with these people. What I'm saying is it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to get anyone. It would be hard for me to get Beyonce or something, but the way I have seen you on the grind this week, yeah, man. I'm at 1,500 followers that I mostly gained in the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to double my follower count within the next 7 days before Big Brother is over. Yeah, I would like to chat about the Twitch thing for sure. On Twitch, am I able to do a watch party? Am I able to do a watch party where I can actually show the whole episode and not have to do this mirror thing and worry about all that garbage? You can. So if I am talking while it's on, is that what you're trying to say? they won't take it down if I'm talking while it's on, because I do that anyways. That would not be an issue for me doing the commentary. I know some people stream shows on Twitch. I have a friend who always tells me I should get on Twitch. They said that you only need, what was it, 50 followers and a very small amount of watch views to be on there. The issues were streamers were literally watching just, oh, I see. So they were probably worried about copyright laws for the people who were just streaming and they weren't talking or anything. Yeah, so that puts them in a vulnerable position for getting sued by whatever company owns the TV show. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Van Hoot, I had a YouTube page years ago, maybe 2009 or something. And I had like a million views on that channel, but I was on the channel very little. YouTube used to have a very little amount of rules. So I would just post like pop culture things that I saw and I could monetize. There was no view requirement, no one. I could hop on there today and I just had to have a Google AdSense account. I didn't have to own the material. I could post background music in the stuff that I was posting. And I could just, yeah. And I was making like $200, $300 a month. And then what happened was when they changed up the rules, I was just getting an endless string of emails about videos that got copyright protection that got taken down. And I think eventually they demonetized that channel. It's still up, but it's not even worth using anymore because almost all the material that I have on there wasn't mine. Never give up and never let anyone tell you you can't do it. Thank you so much, Norma. When you have a mission and you don't reach it right away, don't give up and start again. Never give up. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. That's one of my favorite quotes. I want to make a quote book, as a matter of fact. I want to make a quote book. I'm trying to figure out how to do that best. I think I still have 32 subs. I stopped when I went to do my first degree. What was your first degree in, Van Hoot? You could get views so easily. I remember I posted this Kim Kardashian, like this little Kim Kardashian snippet. This thing must have gotten 100,000 views. Economics. I remember I did business administration. I remember my microeconomics class. It was one of my, I don't want to use the word favorite. I just want to say it was one of my most useful classes that I ever did. I still remember things like, the obvious supply and demand, time value of money, positive and negative externalities. Don't ever say if, just say when, Mark. When. I'll say when from now on. What do you do, Norma Jean? What is it that you do for a living? And what is it that you would do if you could do anything that you wanted to do? How about that? And shout out to the 5 people on here. I don't ever discount anyone that comes on here. If I was on this live and one person was on here, me and Van Hoot were on here for like at least 20 minutes, just me and him. So I appreciate every single one person that jumps on here. Just like I know that Van Hoot, you're going to be on here later tonight, I'm sure, when I do my Big Brother recap. And 6 is like 120. But I have to value the people who will jump on here when I'm talking about any topic. I had a couple of people who were like, I don't know Ayanna and I don't watch the challenge. But because I support you, I'm going to spend a little time watching it and, just give you some feedback. Especially because, like I said, a week from now, I won't be talking about a live Big Brother season, so we'll see. Ayanna is from, I think there's 3 seasons of All Stars. If you know Challenge All Stars, she was on season 2 of Challenge All Stars, but she was on, I want to say 4 or 5 seasons back in the day before she got on All Stars. She was on, her first season was like 19, Road Rules I think was like 1999. Ayanna has been around for a long time. Ayanna was on a season with an iconic season with Veronica, where they were on a cruise ship, where the cruise ship was taking them around to different countries. They ended up in South Africa. And they had to do different challenges in addition to going to school and maintaining a certain GPA. All Stars is good to me. I love All Stars, man. You should give it a try. It's an ode to all these classic people that we used to watch back in the day. Kellyanne, Nehemiah has been up on there, Cyrus, Darrell. I just took early retirement. I would have loved to have been a record producer back in the day. This is why I tell you, don't let anyone tell you you can't. My ex took that away from me. As I said, ex. I've had so many different situations in my life where I've been knocked down. And I feel good now that it's like, hey, I've been knocked off my feet sometimes, but I'm still here. I wouldn't have thought a week ago that I would have a platform with 1,500 people following, with maybe 2,000 views a night with my lives. And here we are. And I'm ready. It's not, other people might have been thrown into my same position and not knowing what to do with it. But I've done so much public speaking. I've made so many different videos. It just hasn't been fruitful up until now. But we're starting to move somewhere. I've gotten PayPal donations. I've gotten Cash App donations. I've gotten a lot of feedback, shares, commentary, subscriptions, and views quickly. And I'm grateful for that. Even now, just because of this conversation I'm having basically with just you two, I'm staying on an extra 10 to 15. Because this information that you're giving me is invaluable. I appreciate it. You know, something funny is back in the day, I wanted to go on the challenge. But the present day challenge, it looks so physically taxing that I'll pass. Plus, I'm going to be 35 in 2 weeks from today. So, my friend just messaged me, that's fine. If I had 2 phones to use, I would actually use another phone to be able to check the Instagram that you sent me, to be able to look at different things that are going on presently, but I can't. I basically had to commit to this until I'm ready to turn it off. I am interested to see after I finish posting this what my numbers might look like. Because, you know, obviously right now it's not too great, but we'll see. I feel like I'm a very optimistic person. And I'm saying to myself, it's Sunday. They're not used to seeing me post non-Big Brother lives. And some people will probably take a look at it later. And if they don't, that's fine. I don't have only one topic to talk about. I have several. I can still start talking about my music. I can still start talking about my mental health. I can still start talking about fitness. And I can talk about other shows. Endless things and endless possibilities. You are not a. So here's my thing. Norma. I didn't come from a poor family. I didn't come from a rich family. I would say that I came from a lower middle class family. And you wouldn't think so with my parents' type of jobs. My dad was an accountant and my mom was a nurse. You know, pretty good paying jobs. Um, Low five figures and high six figures, depending on which point that. Not high six figures. High five figures or low six figures, depending on which part of their careers that they were on. But they were all traditional jobs. So when I talk about wanting to do things like this, like let's say wanting to make a consistent regular income on YouTube, wanting to do public speaking, wanting to go around and do music, wanting to get paid to do fitness races and stuff like that, they're looking at me like, that sounds cool, but you got to secure the bag. You got to do the thing that guarantees you to get to the money, and that's not it. So it's a lonely road in that regard, where I just have to go about things by myself, and the success is not going to be acknowledged until the dollar figure reaches a point where people will say, oh, you're doing the do. But I can't give up because my heart and my spirit don't allow me to do things for long periods of time that I'm not passionate about. It drains me. I've probably been on these lives in a span of 5 days. I have to say at least 20 hours. I'm not getting paid for that. I've gotten like a couple of donations here and there, but generally, I'm not getting paid for that. So I'm not doing this just for money. I would love to get money out of it at some point, but it's a passion. I like talking to people. I like connecting with people. I like doing these recaps. I like analyzing different things that I'm watching on these TV shows. I like having these debates. These are all things that I like. And I imagine having a perfect marriage of what I like and what I can get money for. I have about 7 more minutes and then I'm going to hop off. But once again, I've said this a couple of times, I appreciate the few of you that got on here, and I know that I'm going to see you when we have a pop-in topic, and I'm going to appreciate these small group conversations even more because y'all are dedicated. Anything I put up, I know that you're going to jump in there and support that. And even still, I see that some people popped in and liked and left. I appreciate that too. Like, I'm not really messing with the topic, but I want to support you personally, so I'm going to throw in that like. Hi to whoever just popped on here. Well, all right. Unless anyone has any last words or anyone has anything more to say, Van Hoot, Norma, whoever's on here, I think that I'm going to pop off. Maybe get myself some rest. I don't know why more people aren't here. Yeah. I'm not going to be negative about that. Norma, you're probably right. Some people go to church, some people sleep in on Sunday, some people are not in my time zone, some people went to bed late. I don't know. I don't know if people just aren't interested too much in the challenge on my page, or they're not interested in the topic. But we'll see if I get any views or comments after I take this down. That's okay, Joan. Love the fan and pics behind you. Bless you too. Thank you. I'm kind of hot. I wish I could turn the fan on, but it's so distracting for me because when it turns, it kind of reflects the light and the sound that it makes. I get easily distracted. I'm not a multitasker. So when too many things are going on around me, I can't. So Brittany was sitting right here behind me doing the rock. I'd be losing my train of thought. Joan, I was just saying, unless anybody has any topic that they want to bring up before I go, in which case I'll stay on a little bit longer, I will get ready to hop off of here and sign off. Let me know. If you have any topic that you want me to start, I'll rock that topic with the 5 of you. I've done whole presentations with 2, 3, 4 people on there, and I give the same energy to those 2, 3, 4, 5 people as, you know, what I would give for a crowd of 100. Because I appreciate whoever comes on here. Brit would drive me crazy too. We got 6, we got a whole extra number. Okay, so with that said, thank you guys very much. If you weren't here from the start, please rewind and check out the start of this video. And also, do you live in Scotland? Sorry about the funeral that you're going to. Yeah, I will be back on here post Big Brother episode tonight, and we'll chop that up. I know there's gonna be a lot more people in the Big Brother realm than there is for this, but it is all good in the hood. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. Okay, everyone. Appreciate y'all. We will chop it up later. Thanks for being here.